It's Friday, May 16, 2008, and you're watching The Ointment. I'm Steve Tatham, your host. This weekend on Sunday is I Am an American Day, or as it's better known in this country, El Día de Yo Soy Uno Americano. Fridays here on the show, I take a look back at some of my favorite stories from the past week, but it was a short week for me, so all fresh news today. Lucky you. Our top story, the Supreme Court of the state of California has struck down a constitutional ban against gay marriage, so I guess that's now legal here. Oh, wait a second. That's the wrong picture. But I hope they're very happy. President Bush was asked for a comment, and he said he had no comment because the way he was raised, you don't talk about those things because they didn't exist. Also here in California, a legislator wants to strike down an old law which said that teachers could be fired for joining the Communist Party. And by the way, there's a new slogan on the license plates here in California that's being proposed, Land of Queers and Commies. Well, John McCain, who wants to be President of the United States, has announced that the Iraq War is going to end. Yes, he said we're going to win in 2013. Interesting timing, just after his would-be first term, so he can't be held accountable. 2013, that's when everything's going to get fixed. By the way, he also said in 2013, during his second term, cancer will be cured and the Cubs are going to win the World Series. The Republican Party is in a little bit of trouble. They have now suffered embarrassing losses in 3 special congressional elections this year in Republican districts that voted heavily for George Bush. Well, the Republicans are fighting back. They have a new slogan, and that slogan for 2008 is, hey, couldn't you possibly maybe consider, think about voting Republican this year maybe? That's going to look great on a t-shirt. The White House has said that it wants to relax air pollution standards around national parks. Yet another great idea coming out of the White House. Yes, President Bush said, we ought to build some power plants right there near the Grand Canyon and Yellowstone. He said he wanted to do this because there were still some things in this country that he hadn't quite completely screwed up yet. On a serious note, I want to take a moment out to remember Robert Rauschenberg. He was a towering giant of the modern art movement. He passed away this week at the age of 82. Now, I haven't collected too many autographs in my life. I have the autographs of the hapless California angels of my youth. I also have hanging in my office the autograph of Madeline Pugh and Bob Carroll, who awesomely wrote every single episode of I Love Lucy. Well, in this small collection, I have the autograph of Robert Rauschenberg, who I met when I was in college. 18 years old I was at the reception. He was very chatty, a little drunk on wine, and very friendly. And he was just a great guy. He took the chaos of modern life, collaged it together, and made something out of it. He took collaged pictures, old bicycles, and yes, even a goat, and he made it into art. Now you may be saying to me, Steve, I don't really get modern art. I do know one thing. Art is not a goat in an old tire. Well, guess what? Maybe it is. So take a look around you this weekend and maybe you'll find some art in your life where you least expect it. And finally, I wrap up the week with my news quiz question. Today's question is about Congress, who voted to end funding for the war in Iraq. Well, the House did, and then the Senate is going to restore funding. It's a game of good cop, bad cop. The question is, this is a sign that Congress is A, strategic, B, bumbling, or C, waiting for John McCain to fix everything in the next century. That's The Ointment for another week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Steve Tatham, and that's news. Have a great weekend, everybody.